All right, so hear me out. It's crazy idea day, and I had to do this one. I had this thought that I brought up to the Discord, and someone's like, hey, why not? So here it is. What if you were to take your clear resin, separate it, put it into a split pour cup, and then only dirty pour one side of it? That's what I'm going to do here today. I'm going to pour that into inserts just in case there's any issues, and then we're going to put a shell on them. We have our Mr. Nola's glass coat epoxy. We have our stir sticks because you always need stir sticks. You have our premix cup. We have 2 silicone cups. And then our Druid Dice split pour cup. I'm not going to forget it this time. And I'm going to be using some black resin pigment for the dirty pour. We'll be mixing 40 milliliters of resin today, 20 of A and 20 of B, so that I can then split up, put into the split pour cup, and then commence with the dirty pour. All these are going into inserts, which you will see here in a moment. You'll want to mix your resin up for about 5 minutes or until you don't see any more streaks in there. And then you can just set it aside and get ready for everything else. So I did the best I could on splitting up my epoxy, or my clear epoxies evenly. And then I'll put 1 drop of the black and swirl it around a little bit, just like I've done in previous videos. Alright, so as I'm pouring these and looking back on it, I realized that there are a few things that I would do different. The first addition would be a dump mold where I can put that first pour into, because the D12 that I poured this into was darker than the rest. There were a few that were lighter than the rest. There were a few that looked really, really good. I know what I would do, probably do something like get it closer to honey stage, but a dump mold would probably be the first thing I would do, is get that first pour into a dump mold. Looks fancy. All right, so we're going to take our lighter and pop any surface bubbles. We're going to cap each one of them, and we're going to put them in the pot. We're going to make sure everything's all nice and tight, and then we're going to get some air in it. After 24 hours, we are going to pull our dice, and we're going to check them out. So right here's the D4, and this is close to what I wanted the effect to be. The effect looked pretty good. The D6 is getting closer to what I was looking for. It's not quite, but the D10 here is exactly what I wanted. If I could have gotten the rest of the dice to look like that, it would have been great. Now here's the D12, and you can still see some of the effect, but it just looks darker than the rest. And now we're going to clean them up just a little bit so they can fit. And then I mix up 20 milliliters for the inserts. That's 10 milliliters of A, 10 milliliters of B. And we're just going to get our molds ready. Get them all situated where I want them. And then we're going to take and fill just a little bit in each one. I do them around halfway. This way, when it pushes up and over, I can just scrape that off, put it back in, but I want to make sure that I don't leave any voids on the inside of the dice. Then we repeat the process using a lighter to pop any surface bubbles. We cap them up all nice and snug, not too pushy, but just tap tap. And then we put them in the pot for another 24 hours. All right, it's been 24 hours. We're going to pull our dice, get them out of these molds, and we're going to see what they look like. There's a nice contrast with them. I won't lie, but they don't exactly look how I expected. They're dice, but it's hard to explain. They look good, but they're not what I expected. They're not a fail, but I don't count these as a success. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to polish these from the gray zona on the cap face, because I did notice a little bit of extra flashing. So I'll just go through and take each one of these on the cap face and possibly the surrounding faces with a little bit of the zona papers just to get that little bit of flashing off there. And then that's kind of where we're going to go with that. And here's what the D6 looks like at just the pink. I haven't gone all the way to the white. I think I'm going to Dremel polish the rest of these. So what I did notice with working on these is that they're not completely cured yet. And due to time constraints, I wanted to get this video up in time. So I'm going to make this a 2-part video. So in the comments, let me know what color you think I should ink these. I'm thinking maybe a red, but I am open to suggestions. Next week, you'll see a newer video and then the next week we will color it in the color that you guys choose. Thanks for watching. I am Hers with HC Customs, and if you liked the video, hit like. If you didn't like it, you could hit dislike, but tell me why. Again, thanks for watching.